This is Good Morning Uganda.
Friday is upon us, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Welcome to the D-Day. The D-Day, the most anticipated day of the weekend. If I am not wrong on this one, I'm pretty sure about that. Well, how are you doing? How are you feeling? My name is Philomena Masco. Listen, we are here to make sure that you get in the mood, because that is what Good Morning Uganda Friday special is all about, and we intend to make your morning a bit special. We highly believe that when you start off at that rate, clearly the day is probably cleared out in a much better way. At least that's my belief, and probably you could allow me to sell it to you. Well, I am not by myself, of course. The house is full this morning on this Friday. I do have Robert Chiabo Nyonyitono, Uncle Bob, and I do have Molen Kenyana, and of course Felix Nkunda. I would really love to hear from these gentlemen and the lady how their week was. This week has been very chaotic, I must say, on social media, on all fronts actually. In the political scene, it's been crazy. The economic scene, I don't even have what to say about that, because that's like a topic for another day. On the social scene, again, quite a lot has been happening in the entertainment realm. Well, I don't even have where to start from. But yes, we start off with you, Robert. Good morning, how are you doing? Your day is finally here.
Oh, it's a Friday, and to me when it's a Friday, I'm very excited, because I'm going to have more time with my family. I'm going to have more time with friends that matter. I'm going to have more time to do domestic tourism, because COVID taught us a lesson that it's us to visit these places, and they're not very expensive. You know, visit, support, we build our tourism industry in Uganda. So when the weekend is there, I'm like, yes. And of course, to rest, though sometimes you assume you'll have some rest, but other things catch you up. Work, family, visiting friends. Then also, my animals get more time to see me. Yeah, yes, because
you're an animal person.
Definitely. I love so much when I am passionate about agriculture, but also I like so much a particular animal called the dog, man's best friend.
Okay.
So I get more time. I do some bit of training for some people, their animals. So I just enjoy my weekends. Then Sunday, I go to church by the grace of God, and I'm in His presence. I do some. I also pray, worship,
I would really
praise.
You say by the grace of God,
Yes.
meaning that the times you don't go to church, how does that work? I feel like this is a disclaimer for the days you don't go to church.
There are some Sundays, I want to be very honest, that you're sure you're going to go to church, and you're like, God forgive me, how did I oversleep? Because I only attend first services.
Okay.
Yeah, because I find them short, more focused. There isn't too much entertainment that dominates like the second services. So if I'm and the usual
asking for contribution.
Yes. So I must, if that time of waking up and I know first service is gone, then I try something on TV, but it's not as when you're there yourself. That's why I put the word by the grace of God.
Okay.
That brings me safe thus far to church.
Okay. Molen, happy Friday. Good morning.
It's a very good morning to you, and first I want to say good morning to your viewers. Friday special, and Robert is insisting on the grace of God. Well, it is the grace of God indeed. But we get to lead you from Monday to Friday, and of course when it comes to Friday, you're going to get a little bit of entertainment. Now, I know it's probably not the best time of the year when people are just, celebrating, but also looking forward to ending the year. There is Christmas coming, holidays coming, but again, you have to look back and you're like, okay, what have I done this year? That's what makes the whole mood go away. But Ugandans always find a way to get in it and celebrate. While you're complaining of economic challenges, economy, there are people actually even celebrating Halloween as if some things in Uganda are not scary enough. They have to go around and put a party of scary stuff. And then again, there are a lot of events happening. And just last night, some people went for the mixtape. Very, very interesting crowd. And of course, amazing stuff happened right there. We also saw a South African Mr. T coming around, and of course he did make such a good appearance and his performance. Well, Ugandans always find a way to entertain themselves. I'll tell you, just put something entertaining and you see everyone flocking right there. And of course, a lot of things happening this weekend as well. So I'll tell you what, we just have to wait and see what we'll be bringing for you in the entertainment, of course, updates. But I do know I can count on everyone to be able to enjoy the weekend regardless of whatever is happening in their life, which is why even us here on Friday, we make sure we start you up with some kind of mood to get you there.
Like one common Nigerian statement where they say problem not they finish, okay? I mean, the problems will never end, and I feel like Ugandans have tried to move on with that concept. I feel like this is what they're running their life, basing on this statement.
And Philo, there is a new one. Someone tells you, well, if the money you have.
If it cannot do for you, don't mislead people, Robert. Good morning, Felix. How are you doing? Happy Friday.
You?
Good. How are you?
I'm awesome. How's your morning?
Great, great. I am seeing people here want you to eat their money. I don't know.
If it's there. Well, it's one thing to want to eat, another thing to have what to eat. So some of the things are just lip service. But anyway, Friday it is, and that's what I tell most of the people out there. If you don't have what to spend, don't disturb
Stay
people.
in your house.
Keep your, entertain your people at home. It's a period. Don't even talk about it, because you're just going to annoy yourself and then become gloomy. Then you have both swings. Then you start cursing the government. Then all those things.
Or you move around and become a problem to others.
That's the thing. And you know how Ugandans have that habit. Yes. They always have to count on people.
So compare your bidding, buy me two, buy me one for the road, and you're like, but you came, you came here.
Anyway, I think the last time I interfaced with such kind of people was about 10 years ago. So I didn't even imagine such people still exist. Because how do you take yourself to a place when you know you can't afford that place? Honestly and truly, is it even etiquette? I mean, what if people you're counting on are not there? That's what I'm saying. You're better off staying at home with your people who understand your situation. So Friday is not a must for everyone that they're going to have to be out or enjoy your what and all these kind of things. So it's important also. But for me, I take the weekends off as quality time for family. I've since picked that up, and I think it's working good for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no any other plans or?
Honestly, if just a little bit of work, make sure I stay home, maybe watch a movie with the guys at home, then chat. Make sure you share meals. It's important.
Or maybe I think, Felix, you're at that stage.
I guess.
That age also.
I feel like you're at that stage. You had your moments, and you tapped out. You're like,
and that could be the truth of it, though. And I think the fact that some of us started this kind of life when
as
we were
a teenager,
yes. But honestly and truly, our communities were so explosive that by around S1, S2, we would have a lot of movements. So at this point, I think the Bobs who are still, and this anyway, people who still excited about which new bars open, which new clubs.
It seems like Felix is just ruining the mood.
So I don't understand.
It's just ruining the mood.
At least,
but I'm telling
at
you
least
guys,
not in the same places.
I'm telling you
Even if I
guys,
have to.
do not let Felix take down your mood. He's just not feeling it for this weekend.
No.
But guys,
for
look,
me,
there are
I
some
can
people
put my
at the
arm.
Yeah.
I meet Felix where I am. I can put my arm.
But anyway, what happens now to the young people who behave like that?
No, but here's the thing.
I guess.
Don't be lost in it.
I think for us, it's
Don't be lost
important
in it.
not to have it twisted.
Yeah?
Nightlife only makes sense for about 3 people. One, people who earn out of it. For example, if you're working, we have girls who help in bars, in restaurants and all these places. Very many probably have security guards and all these people. It makes a lot of sense that they have to work. But the other people who also go to have some fairly good time. Consistently, I've seen people who enjoy nightlife, but responsibly. Yes. Between you and me, you know how many people we have lost because of nightlife.
Yes.
People, and not losing people only in the sense of death, but in the sense of addictions and people losing families. You've seen these things. So that's why you must know how to trade when it comes to nightlife. So when you talk about weekends, people spend, for example, perhaps just got and paid. Those who have been lucky to be paid anyway. When they are paid, that amount of money they earn can be wasted in just 2 days because of this thing they call weekend vibe, what. And then they are left with another full month because they to start disturbing people, and then you talk about school fees. So I think that's why personally I don't get excited by this thing of weekends. It's a good time to have family time.
Yeah, that's true. I've also come to understand that, I mean, people have different preferences, okay? There are people who love nightlife. Personally, I am a daytime person. Really, outdoor activities are the ones for me, and I mean during the day. But then there are people who you will never see during the day. These ones are, they're nocturnals. Yeah,
those guys.
Nighttime is their time. So clearly, it's understandable. Getting back to the news spectrum, quite a lot has happened. Yesterday, Parliament did approve the 17 trillion loan that is going to be taken out by government from Standard Chartered. Of course, there was still a lot of opposition, and I mean, there was a lot of confusion that was coming in from opposition because they were not in agreement with that. They felt like it was a very bad idea and a bad strategy, but it is what it is. The loan is going to be taken out to make sure that it fills up some of the gaps in the financial budget of 2022-2023. The question, of course, that every Ugandan has is that will this budget or will this money be used as it should be? Well, we'll be here monitoring and seeing what money will go where, what money has done what. And obviously, as Good Morning Friday, Good Morning Uganda, I will be giving you the updates every now and then. For now, we're getting to some of our local stories and international stories.
And we'll kick it off with His Excellency Kaguta Museveni, who yesterday launched a pharmaceutical warehouse along Kajansi on Entebbe Road. President Museveni emphasized the need to develop a pathogenic economy to reduce over-dependency on outside world for vaccines and drugs. The president was launching a set of art pharmaceuticals warehouse for the public medicines procuring agency national medical stores at Kajansi. The president commissioned the pharmaceuticals warehouse and emphasized the need for Uganda and Africa to develop a pathogen economy, which he said is a big business globally. He said that the need for the country to strengthen disease prevention mechanisms is key to development. The Minister for Health, Dr. Jane Ruth Acheng, commended government for supporting national medical stores to increase on the volume of essential medicines and medical supplies. The health development partners commended government for acquiring the state-of-art pharmaceutical warehouse on grounds that it will improve efficiency in the health supply chain.
The Ministry of Education and Sports has issued new measures to contain the Ebola outbreak in schools ahead of the forthcoming primary leaving examinations that start next week. The First Lady and the Minister of Education and Sports, Mrs. Janet Kataha Museveni, says these measures are to help in curbing the spread of and the prevention of Ebola virus disease in schools.
Moving on, lawyers representing clients in the East African Court of Justice want regular sittings to ease justice to court users from the member states. This follows an increase in cases filed in the court than before, yet the court doesn't sit on a regular basis. Lawyers say this limits and delays access to justice to court users. The East Africa Court of Justice has started hearing sessions in Uganda since its inception 20 years ago. The hearing sessions of lower court at the Commercial Court building in Kampala is to be handled and will handle cases filed by member states and the people from East African community.
On the international scene, looking at Israeli Prime Minister Yair Lapid has congratulated Benjamin Netanyahu on his victory in Tuesday's general election. Mr. Lapid said he had called his rival to wish him luck and tell him he would ensure an orderly transition of power. Mr. Netanyahu's Likud party and its far-right and religious allies won 64 of the 120 seats in parliament, according to final results that were released on Thursday. It marks a dramatic comeback for the former prime minister, who was ousted by his opponents 14 months ago. The result also ends an unprecedented period of political deadlock that began in 2019 when Mr. Netanyahu was charged with bribery, fraud and breach of trust, which he denies. He remains on trial with the next hearing on Monday. Now, Elon Musk plans to start charging for Twitter's blue check mark as early as next week, according to media reports, as the billionaire's closely watched plans for the social media giant rapidly take shape. Musk is aiming to launch his $8 subscription service for users who want to obtain or keep the checkmark from Monday. The New York Times and Bloomberg reported on Thursday, citing internal documents and people familiar with the matter, respectively. The Tesla CEO's plans come as the billionaire seeks to boost revenues and crack down on spam accounts after completing his $44 billion purchase of the platform last week. Despite its influential place in politics and journalism, Twitter, which launched back in 2006, has rarely turned a profit and reported a net loss of $270 million in the second quarter of this year.
From that, French Parliament stopped over racist remark. Now, the French Parliament was brought to a halt after a far-right member of Parliament shouted they should go back to Africa as a black colleague talked about immigration. Grigol Dafran, a member of the National Lari, said later in his remark he had not been aimed at Carlos Marteno Bilongo himself, but at migrants trying to reach Europe by sea. Mr. Bilongo said he had been born in France and the remark was shameful. Prime Minister Elizabeth Borne said there was no room for racism, and the National Assembly Bureau would meet on Friday and decide on the necessary sanctions, the Liberal politician told reporters. Mr. Bilongo had been questioning the government about a request by the SOS Mediterranean non-government organization for help in finding a port for 234 migrants rescued at sea in recent days. In climate news, UN demands funding surge to save millions of lives. Now, a dramatic increase in funding for climate adaptation is needed to save millions of lives from climate change, and that is according to the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. Climate adaptation includes preparing defenses against rising floods, shelters against intensifying cyclones, and emergency plans to protect people during worsening heat waves and droughts. Guterres said only a small fraction of the required finance was given by rich nations to protect the vulnerable people. And a report from the UN Environmental Programme UNEP said the worsening impacts of climate crisis would outstrip the ability to provide protection without far more funding for adaptation, leading to knockout blows to generations to come. The report found that 80% of countries had started adaptation plans, but that just a third had quantified targets with deadlines.
Well, it is Good Morning Uganda. Right, a special, and we're still going on. It is special because, well, we always do have some special guests that are paying us visits every now and then. We have some interesting stories with them. We do go through some entertainment sessions with them. This morning, we do have a very special guest, a very beautiful lady who does one of the greatest things I think I've ever seen when it comes to the industry of music. This morning, we are joined by Olive Justine Nabosa. Now, she's a saxophonist. If you don't know what that is, clearly that comes from a certain instrument. But I mean, I'm not in a much better position to explain that because some of these instruments I'm just trying to only admire them. But there is one person who understands more about these things. That is Felix.
In Uganda, probably for people like Chirabo, who,
Yes.
and of course many like him. I think saxophone should be omulere, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And it's one of the best instruments in the world, musical instruments. And I'm gonna give you guys time, probably when you go for the break, try to find 2 or 3 people who play the saxophone, away from the Ugandans. I don't know, you know any modern?
Well, I could think of a couple, but I think also Ugandans have really picked up when it comes to saxophone.
But away from Ugandans.
Away from Uganda, of course, there is a lot. These guys have been in the game for a while. We are just picking up. But I will tell you what,
you know you can
we're
pass
doing
to
great.
Robert. You
We're
can pass
doing
to Bob. Robert, any saxophonist you know? Okay, Robert, for you in Uganda.
In Uganda, of course, there are so many.
Yeah, it's okay, but
Isaiah.
just mention. Isaiah.
Yes, there are a couple of them.
They are indeed.
So I just enjoy it, and I leave it at that. If I go to be entertained, I enjoy.
Wow.
I just enjoy it.
In Uganda, I think we have
Because
guys
that is not
like,
something.
I think we have.
If there are music instruments
yes.
I would tamper with,
we have
must
Happy
be very
Chaze,
honest.
we have Jose.
We have Joseph's,
if
we do
the
have,
music instruments I would tamper with, that
least we
wouldn't
have-
be one I would try to.
But Isaiah has also set the pace.
Isaiah. He's been there for some good time.
Okay, Philo. Clearly, they know some too in Uganda.
Yeah, but I think internationally, you know, like about there is one called Charlie Parker. Then there is another one called Onet something. I've forgotten the other name. I know like about 2, but the Ugandans, everyone is. We even have upcoming ones. I have met like 3 of them, and people are taking
I
this
think
thing
it's an
seriously.
instrument lately they love to play.
Yeah.
But it must be hard to learn. Compared to the piano, the guitar.
You
I think
must
it's
have,
just
I
passion.
think the qualification is having big cheeks. One of us here would do that good job. Because you must have people to blow. So
yes.
Chirabo, I don't know, why don't you try this thing?
Felix and
But you
Chirabo.
see, you have to look at, still, you have to have big eyes as well.
then
because
you
you
blow
can
with
spot
eyes.
very well. You can spot very well. Yeah?
It's Good Morning Uganda Friday special. We are going in for a break. When we get back, we'll be having Justine join us this morning, and she's going to be giving us her first performance, and clearly you'll be able to attest to the prowess that she's going to be showing on that instrument. If you don't know what a saxophone looks like, well, you need to stay around and see what we are talking about. We'll be back shortly after this break.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
If I'm looking at issues of taxation and all that, I will definitely run for the Kateshumbas. Okay? Okay. If I look at, if I'm looking at issues of investments and what, I would definitely run. I would definitely run for Dr. Emure Kugonza and Honorable Omara. Okay? If I'm looking at issues of the law, I will run for our very, very own people. I have the Oboso Bosses, I have the Katuntus, I have the Robin Arwakojos. So everyone is talented in one way or another.
Did you mention Katuntu?
Okay? Yes.
Is he yours?
Yes, he is.
You as in NRM?
He is.
Was brought to you by
Simply make a small deposit of 99k and pay the balance mpola mpola. You can pay in daily, weekly or even monthly installments while you enjoy your new phone. So what are you doing today? Visit any MTN shop near you and get the MTN cupboard. That's super easy.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Hello?
Hello?
This is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Hey, Kasozi, my brother. Long time. We last met when we were at campus. It's been a while, but you are the person I'm looking for.
Campus? Really?
Hey, you don't remember me?
Okay, so how can I help you?
I'm stuck in Gulu making millions and I need to urgently send money to my sick mother. But I can't find any mobile money agent near me. I've sent the money to your phone, as you can see the message. It might take a few minutes to come through, but I urgently need you to send the money to my mother. Let me send you her number and you send it to her chap.
My friend, I'm afraid your mom is going to die.
What?
Because I don't know you, I never went to campus, and I'm also in Gulu. So can we meet at CPS, we talk about it?
Stay tuned for what Kasozi does next.
Tofera, refrain from unnecessary engagement with strangers over the phone. This message is powered by the Uganda Communications Commission.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources such as inspirational profiles.
Having a disability is not inability.
Professional guidance.
There is no special antiretroviral therapy that is given specifically for discordant couples.
And of course, politics.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for Anita Mong and Tayebo?
That is laughable. Why would we pay when we have nominated them as SEC?
Every party has been represented in Uganda's parliament for 10 years. We only by one MP, you yourself and my daughter, Susan.
Every Friday 9 p.m. it's one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa on UBC TV, inspiring Uganda.
Every waking day is a reminder just how beautiful this, our land, truly is. The kind of beauty that you can only find here. In the lush green all around us and the wondrous sights within. It's what you feel in the gentle caress of tropical wind from the mountaintops. And the glow in your heart from a warm neighborly invite. It's in the distinct aroma of our cooking to the taste of food that takes you on a journey. In the sound of homecoming and the sound of Mother Earth. In the magnificence we find on our travels and the exciting moments we experience. Ours is the kind of beauty that comes in all things big and small. All we have to do is awaken our senses and truly enjoy what's uniquely ours. explore Uganda, the pearl of Africa.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda Friday special still going on, of course, with the whole house, but again, with our very special guest. Now, before we went in for a break, I did promise that I was going to be showing you who is joining us this morning. And we had a few conversations and banter there about the instruments when it comes to the music industry. Now, this morning, allow me the pleasure to introduce to you our very own guest. That is Olivia Justine Nabosa. She's a saxophonist, and she's going to be showing us how well she does it. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, and I'm very happy to have you here on set with us. I can't wait for her first performance, and much later on we'll be having more conversations with her about this that she does best. What got her into it? How did she realize that this could be her calling? Well, in there, allow me to introduce officially her first performance.
It's another instrument of having set of music.
her first performance, and I must say it was really, really, really beautiful. Olivia, it's very nice having you here. How are you doing? How are you feeling this morning? We were so excited to have you over.
Thank you. I'm so happy also to be here.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Well, that was quite a wonderful performance, and we can wait to have much, much more from you. We're going in for a break. When we get back, we'll be having more discussions, especially concerning child safety at your home. How safe is your child at home, with or without your presence over there? It is Good Morning Uganda Friday special.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial *149*10# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *149*10*5#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *149*10# to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Every waking day is a reminder just how beautiful this, our land, truly is. The kind of beauty that you can only find here. In the lush green all around us and the wondrous sights within. It's what you feel in the gentle caress of tropical wind from the mountaintops. And the glow in your heart from a warm neighborly invite. It's in the distinct aroma of our cooking, to the taste of food that takes you on a journey. In the sound of homecoming and the sound of Mother Earth. In the magnificence we find on our travels and the exciting moments we experience. Ours is the kind of beauty that comes in all things big and small. All we have to do is awaken our senses and truly enjoy what's uniquely ours. Explore Uganda, the pearl of Africa.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda Friday special still going on right now. And well, welcome back from that performance. I hope that we're doing as much as we can to wake you up officially, mentally, emotionally, and hopefully physically, so that you're able to attack the day. Yes, and this morning our discussion, we're going to be looking at one of the most important people in our lives when it comes to family. Those are our children. Now, we could talk on and on and on, you know, especially concerning issues with children. But this morning our focus is going to be on one thing, that is their safety. Now, the safety of our children It's probably one of the biggest worries of a parent, whether you're there with them at home or you're not, and you're leaving them probably in the hands of other people who you believe have the potential, the capacity to help you out, to ensure that they're doing all right. There is nothing that is inconveniencing them. Now, we know that this is quite a very busy world. You have to go to work as a parent, and clearly you'll be needing some help. Now, at the start of this week, we did start off with some very terrible news. Now, you know, Davido, one of the most international artists, African international artists we've ever seen, he did lose a son. And when you look at the stories, the son sadly he drowned in a swimming pool. By the time this happened, Davido and the wife were actually not at home. They had left to go attend a family gathering in a different part of the city, leaving this child in the hands of the house helps and other people who were in the home. Police, of course, did come in. It arrested all the people at home, released about 6 of them, and 2 are still in custody. But of course, looking at this story, this is not the only sad story we have seen. Here in Uganda, a couple of years ago, one minister did lose his 2 children who also, lost their lives by drowning in a swimming pool. And again, they were still under the watch of some of the house helps. So you can see that the stories keep recurring. And we're looking at this, from a general point of view. How safe are your children at home? And this morning I am joined by a very special guest, that is Olivia Justine Nabosa and Felix Nkunda. Now these 2 are actually parents, and I would really love to hear from them, their perspective. Do you ever feel guilty as a parent when you walk away from home? Do you worry about your child? Do you trust the people that you have entrusted your children's lives with when you're not in their presence? Because work has to be done. You have to get that money, you have to cater for them, both mother and father, and even when you are a single parent. So our discussion is going to be rotating around that this morning. And maybe to start off with you, Felix, the other day you were actually telling us here on set that you're just okay, you're happy knowing that your children are close to you, even when no, yes, and you're talking about even when you drop them off at school, you're still doubting, you have questions. Are my children okay? By the time I'm done with work, am I going to find them safe? Now tell me more about that from a parent's point of view. I mean, how does it feel?
Yeah, it's one of the hardest and yet most beautiful thing is being a parent. And if you've seen a couple of social media memes and videos, they try to challenge parenthood to try and put it in one place and also put on the other side of the seesaw patience. Now, being with kids means lots of things. For example, one of them is one of the biggest anyway, is to know that you are their protector. You should watch over them. Like, every other thing depends on, if you've seen mothers or people normally who feed kids, sometimes when they're going to feed kids, they first pour milk on there.
Oh yeah.
Now, there are some of the signs that prove that you need to watch how hot something is, and that's why some of us, even when you are taking kids to school, you want to question everything, starting from the attitude of the gate man, because that alone is a threat to you. You'll question the dress code of a teacher. You'll question how a teacher laughs, everything. Even you may want to know the life of the teacher way back at home, even away from we feel that it's important because all this works directly into safety. Now, to the extreme cases we have seen, we have lost, I want to say, we have lost children because of negligence. I think a week ago, remember the kids that burnt, the blind kids?
Yes.
You can imagine such a scenario. Kids who are blind, why would they sleep in a dormitory alone? Honestly and truly, without someone who's watching over them.
Ideally, the
they are already disabled.
Or somebody. Yes.
There should be someone to help them get around. And all these are the questions. Now, these are the things that, if you remember about that same story, Philo, I was very, very particular on the interest of parents about their children's matters. where they sleep at school. You can't tell a parent not to know or to see because of these funny lousy laws of schools that you don't go to dormitories and what. How dare you say such a thing? You get the point. You talked about safety of children at home. Like how often, and as parents, regardless, and you consistently talked about making money.
Yes.
The money we are making is for who?
It's for the children.
That's the thing. So what's the use of you getting lost in trying to get the money and you're losing some other thing? Today, most recent, we have children. You saw one of the clips, I think, was a very heartless woman or teacher, I don't know if it was a woman or man, who called those kids and said they were doing bad manners and told them do again and what.
Yes.
Now, the question in the head of it's a two-way thing. You will condemn the teacher, but you would want to know how did the kids get to this point? Like, do we care to watch what our children watch, for example, on TVs?
Yes.
You get the point. And when we talk about safety, this is all safety.
Yes, it's not basically about death or what could be
Toddlers
required.
may never talk to tell us why they get in some situations.
Yes.
I have seen scenarios where a kid is stuck, probably her head or his head is stuck in something. But when you walk back, they will tell you, I knew this cartoon. They've been watching a lot of this. You know, the cartoons they're watching are so violent. You find a kid trying, all the things they do is cutting someone. And make sure you got blood. I want to see your blood. And I'm like, okay.
You watch wrestling and then you find them trampling
them
all over.
They're broken, their limbs, their necks and what. When you go to hospitals for kids, when you try to find out, how did this kid break their leg? They'll be telling you, no, it was jumping like...
The pediatricians can give you those stories. Yes.
So, safety is a topic that we never choose to discuss or want to talk about. But I can tell you the truth of the matter. It's a true relevant component in raising children. And this is definitely intertwined in, one, who are our children rubbing shoulders with in terms of peers. That's very, very important. For example, people who stay in communities, people who go to schools. When you go to school, I remember we used to say, I have one of my friends' parents used to ask every time, like every time we used to go to visit my friend, the mother would ask us even about our grandparents. And today is when I noticed that this was a good thing. Like then we would say, how bitter,
it's very intrusive.
But the chick would be like, who's your father? Who's your mother? And when you say, hey, what are you? Like she would want, and this was all to protect her son. Who is my son rubbing shoulders with? You're not going to come here, bring your drugs to my home, and before I know, my kid is probably doing funny behaviors or what, you know, they're dropping out of school. So it's important to pay attention to who do our kids have, probably friends or what. There's this thing they call sleepovers. in kids, man, that kind of kajaja thing. I don't know where it started. I don't know these nabusas of this world are the ones who started this thing. I heard it. Yeah, what the hell is that? Why are you sleeping over? For what? What's wrong with your bed?
Sleep over a movie night. Like they have a movie night, and then after that
they sleep over.
Sleep over.
but would you, Olivia, would you be okay with that? Like, how much power do you give that? Do you take time to know more about these people or the parents where your children are going? Yeah, where they're sleeping.
Me personally, I don't really like the sleepovers. Yeah, I've never
Typical African parent. Yes.
Like recently, there's this kid. The kid on TikTok who used to sing that song of I'm gonna kill, I wanna kill my mom. Did you hear
I had a terrible story about it.
I wanna kill my grandma. So even they made it like a song now.
Yes.
I wanna kill.
Yeah, it's been on TikTok for some time. But then I'm wondering, like how could you allow such?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, the kid was like 6. But he was busy singing, I wanna kill my mom, I wanna kill my dad,
yes.
I wanna kill my grandma. So I was like, but for sleepover things, I don't really do it. I don't allow my kids to go for sleepovers.
Yes.
However much they want, because even if I know, like, I know the parents, but I may not really know the kid, that where my daughter is going to sleep. So I don't know even what they will do at night. I don't know. So I don't really support it. To me, I don't.
Yes.
I can't even allow.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Now, again, if we're talking about children, there is one important thing that we have to talk about: the house helps.
Yeah.
Now, this, you know, having children, it entails a lot. Your life changes, especially if you're the kind, a working parent, you're a working father, you're a working mother, and then you have children, and then, I mean, it becomes a bit hard for you to balance. Like Felix over here, who pointed out that parenting is such a beautiful thing, but very, very hectic. And any parent out there, you can attest to that. It's a full-time job. You can never get fired. Yes.
Sleeping, and then you just wake up and you're like,
I hope she's okay, I hope he's okay. And the child is sound asleep. Now, when we talk about house helps, I mean, this is one, I could call them a helping strategy that we have tried to incorporate in our lifestyles, because when you're not around, you need somebody to be around with the children. When they return from school back home, who are they returning to if you're not there? Who is going to make them that meal? Who is going to make them that snack? Who is going to ensure that they're clean and they get in, you know, before you actually get back at home? But I want to talk about how much power have we given these house helps to, you know, to look after our children? Maybe just to start off with you, Olivia, I don't know, do you have like a house help who, you know, comes in handy when it comes to the children?
The good thing, my kids are all grown up.
Oh.
So
relief.
Yes. I've taken like 2 years without a maid.
Yes. But at any one point, did you have like a house help to chip in?
Yes, I had.
And how much power did you give her over the children? Are there some things you'd allow her to do with the children, and then also certain things that you decided that me as their mother, I will be the one to do this? How much power did you give her?
When my kids were still young, I used to be with them at home. So I wasn't working by the time. So I was taking care of most of everything, bathing them, like preparing what they could eat. Yeah, so the maid was just there maybe to help me clean the house. But when they're still young, when they really needed me, I'm lucky I was home with them.
You are lucky.
I love how she puts it. That's really honest that you're lucky.
She was really lucky because
I'm glad you appreciate that it was actually luck.
Yeah, it was luck because
it was luck because like now, like women need to work. So if by that time I was lucky that I was home and I was able to take care of them, maybe, yeah.
So you didn't really have like a hard time with the house helps?
Yes, I was a full-time mom at home.
Yes.
So, and it really feels nice, like your daughter or son to go to school, and then
you know you're the one who sent them.
He comes back.
Yes.
When you're there, you know how they are happy when you're back, when you're home, when they find you say, "Oh, mommy, mommy," so they feel really, 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 really.
Yes.
So
and they tell you all the stories.
They tell you all the stories. Yes, but
Philo.
If you're not really like
no, but I mean, if you remember some time back, there was a video that went viral about this house help who was. I don't know whether that was
many of those videos.
Actually, there are very many, and the parents were disgusted. The parents were so
this woman stepped literally
bad
on the kid.
Yes.
Two of her, you can imagine that, like her elephant's body and all that weight on a toddler.
This is a child, yes.
And you see, Philo, when you talk about house help, there's something that we need to know as parents. You know, and this is what I always tell even my people at home. Like, you need to lower your expectation from these people.
Yes.
Just like what you said, lower your expectations and let them, like, you can't have them have the same focus on your children like you would have. Honestly and truly, and this is what we normally say even to people who intend to have families. Think of it. Don't make it automatic that because you've gotten to a certain age or because you have a man, you just have to. These are things you plan for. And you need to factor in time. Having children is something that should have a big part of our livelihoods as parents. Like, you just can't be there all the time saying, work, 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 work. Like, even the kind of work, you see, when you become parents, is what I was saying, Philo, it's a full-time thing. And when you become parents, that can also determine the kind of work you take. I think it's a very common practice in the the Western world, where even when a man is given a work, or a wife, they'll say, let me consult my family.
Yes.
Now that's the power of family. They will probably even ask the kids that, guys, I'm taking this job on, I'm going to be on TV, how do you feel about it? Because kids will say we're going to be, for example, and with due respect, I can imagine some of the people who do some particular work and how their kids feel about it, or
Yes.
how they are treated at school. Like, for example, I saw one of the comedians give their story and how their kids kept on telling them, you know, Daddy, you can't keep on doing this. Because they have been changing schools all the time, you know, because they're being bullied for that and what and all that. Like, kids of musicians sometimes get in the mix. And
Yes.
like, that's why it's important to always look at the things we do at a family level. Like, for example, if you're taking a job, you say you want to get a job, let's say up country, in Gulu or Kisoro or where, but then you have, let's say, 4 kids at home.
Definitely,
And
it's going to have an impact.
Definitely.
Yes.
Now you're leaving the kids with probably a father, all these things.
And
so
then you expect the maid
to play the mom role.
Everything.
It's just impossible. And some of these maids only come to do such work probably because of also their life, their challenges. Some of them will tell you, I have maybe 5 kids in the village I left there. Now, they're not going to shift this love to you.
No, because they're already worrying about
They
their
have
own
enough
children.
they are carrying.
Yes.
And most of us, and majorly Ugandans, I want to be very particular, Ugandans don't want to pay our house helps well. It is in this country you find a man and a woman combined together, calling themselves husband and wife, and they want to pay a maid 20,000 shillings a month. They want them to wash plates, their knickers, their underwear, their 4 children, stubborn children. And what do you expect, man? You're giving this person 20,000 shillings.
Absolutely.
About lowering your expectation for the maid, because you can't think that the maid is going to do everything that mostly concerning the kids that.
Yes.
Because when you're there, you can give your kids, let me say, juice, yogurt, and you see that love. You can really, yes, please take yogurt, take this, but for a maid, because she has a lot of things to do, you will not
they don't
like
even have that if you don't want to take.
Yeah.
If you can't take, I'll help you take.
I will eat the yogurt for
I have
you.
to go and wash clothes, I have to clean the house.
And the pressure, she has a lot of pressure, because when you come back, you're going to mount on her. And this, something.
Yes.
I've been talking to a couple of people that when you have house helps at home, sometimes it's important to always try and put yourself in their feet. The things you think you can't do in a day, trust me, she can't do the same in a day.
That's true.
You don't want her to wake up and wash clothes, wash plates, cook food, but all along those things taken care of.
And one day you realize when that maid leaves, even if it's like 2 days, and you're there home to do all that, then that's when you appreciate, but you appreciate when she has already gone.
Yes, but this is why there was one lady who was still talking about this topic, and she was saying, listen, one thing I would encourage for any parent, you just get a house help, or you get 2 when you know that one is specifically going to handle your children matters, to avoid that pressure. Because if you want one house help to do all the house chores and also look after your children, when you as their mother, you can't afford to do that, I think that is quite an imaginary idea.
That is something that is far-fetched. When you talk about having 2
if you
households.
can't, maybe you divide the responsibilities between yourselves, you and the house help.
You have to have roles. This is what it's what I was telling you. Like, before you make a family, before you agree to have a family, cut out the roles for your husband, or spouse, or partner. Cut out the roles for the man.
They should be part of this whole cycle.
You can't be there talking about 3 maids. You're going to even have 10 maids. and what is the guy doing? Talk about these things. When I was talking about time at the weekend, this is what I was talking about, Philo area. I can't be there going to chill out with the boys, and I spend the whole 5 days waking up at 4.
You give a baby just to feed the bottle and they run out of the house.
But who are you giving birth for? You get the thing, and this is why I'm telling you that what are our preferences, and mostly as parents, I'm not even singling out women or men.
Yes.
As parents, both husband, a wife, or partners, or man and woman, we must interest ourselves in the growth of our children. You understand? Like,
yes.
I've seen kids who have not grown with this kind of affection, and the effect really turns up. You've seen kids who are so close to maids or house helps.
Oh yes.
And they don't even want their mothers.
When the house help is stepping up probably for a short break, going back
They
at home, the
will
child is
cry,
going to
they'll
cry. It's going to be very hard to control that child. And I've seen very many parents being embarrassed because of that.
And Philo, for me, just about the same thing. I think it's unfair for men to just think that provision is the only role they
If
have
I
in
pay
family.
school fees, if I buy the house,
it's so wrong. It's so wrong.
Groceries,
It's
that's
not
just about
fair.
it. Yeah.
It's not fair to the children and to your entire family. Now you need to carry your weight. You need to carry your weight. Trust me. Kids feel, and mostly I've seen, as a father of girls, I've seen that girls are so affectionate with their daddies.
Yeah.
They love them around. Like, even when you're going, the kid will be like, man, can we go together? Like, I'm like, why do you want to go? Like, yeah, like, kid will be like, please.
This wall
Yeah,
right
the problem
now.
the kid is saying, please, like, wherever, don't worry, wherever.
I will
If
just
it's
say
where-
the girl will be a good girl.
So, and they've seen the boys with the mummies. They'll be like, mommy, can everywhere. Now, you're never going to have these moments if you don't interest yourself in family. Lately, we have had challenges of people who look at family as a by the way. And that's the effect. You see an effect of such even in the children when they turn about 6, 7, 8. Kids are moody, kids are what? This is a very nice video I'll share with you. Unfortunately, I can't share it. I didn't think about it. But this father was teaching the daughter how to say sorry.
Yes.
But man, the guy suffered. The guy suffered, but finally the kid got it, and it changed like everyone around them. It's when to say what. So all these things, I think, when talking about safety of kids, what they see, who they spend time with, but also there's something, Philo, probably I'll just allow me to bring it into play. The relatives will be with at home.
Ah. Wow. Yes.
Yeah, you know, it's in the African setup. I don't know, probably for Justin it's different, but African setup we normally tend to have relatives.
The aunties,
somehow out
the
of
cousins,
10 families,
the uncles.
out of 10 families,
yes,
8 will have a relative somehow, either a young sister, either a what, all those things. They are lovely people. We love them. We adore them. But sometimes I think we need to stop looking at them as other house helps. That has been also a problem.
Yeah.
Like we normally put our eyes off our roles and think that those people will do our roles.
But they need to help.
They need to help. That's the word.
Need to help.
Yeah, they need to chip in.
But it shouldn't, because some of them, because I have seen families where some of these relatives, because they feel it is a responsibility that they should take on, it kind of turns out into anger. Now, you don't want your child to be taken care of by somebody who is angry and mad, because there is a thin line between them managing their anger and also exposing those children to their anger. Now, again, also, yes, we are relatives, we could be related by blood, but there is also an aspect of somebody being an individual, and everybody brings in different mannerisms, by the way, in your home. As a mother, as a father, as a relative, as a house help, everybody brings in different mannerisms. So a child is exposed to a lot of things, okay? A lot of ways of responding to certain problems. Now, you do not know how some of these things are going to affect the child. And like earlier when we said that safety is not curtailed to death. I mean, it could be even just the way that, exposure and all that. So again, having very many people come into your home, I've never had very good stories, by the way, from people. There are some people who are close to me who have shared with me, they've been in this extended family setting, and they will tell you, listen, when I have my own family, it's going to be a different story. So clearly it tells you that
they've seen the effects.
They've seen the effects. So I don't want my children to be like me.
There's this thing that happens, and I'm sorry, I'm asking so many things, but how do you feel about maybe someone beating your child, both at school and in community,
I want
or
to beat my
even
child
relatives?
myself.
I don't know. How do you
It
feel
depends what a child, what she or he has done.
Yes.
Because there may be something really big.
Okay.
Like
what is big?
that can.
What is big that you as a parent you cannot punish that child for? That you have to
Don't
leave another person
put
to
your hands
punish?
on my child.
Okay, you come and report, but
yes,
in case they beat her or him from there, and then after they come to report you when it's really a big issue.
What is big? I'm trying to think of the big thing. Like, what is big that the kid can do that can't wait to be reported?
It can be a
You know the
slap.
things that kids do.
Yeah.
The kids will maybe someone will call them, and you know kids are kids. No, they refuse. Then someone say, "Can't I go?" You know, but you're saying someone of 3 years can't I go?
I mean, why don't you go and talk to the parent about this child? And then you as a parent, you have the right to discipline your child and tell them what should be done, probably give them a punishment or anything. I don't think I'll be very comfortable with anybody else beating my child.
Equally, I'm not comfortable with someone
like
beating
me,
my child.
like where I stay, like in the parking,
Yes.
the kids, they have a habit of writing on the cars. So they normally communicate via the group that please, kids on block this, stop it, block E, stop this. But now if there's a parent who
Is quick to beat.
yes, and he was
The
like,
Philomena.
if kids on this block do this again, any kid I will
finish.
find, I'm going to beat you. I'm sorry, the parents, but any kid I find doing scratching my car, I'm sorry, I'm going to beat you.
No, you beat my child. That's when you know that if it's a scratch, this will be a windscreen.
But that means that maybe you fail to talk to your
Kids are
yes,
kids.
yes.
Justin, kids are kids. Today it's my child doing that. Your child tomorrow will come and do something very different.
They are kids, but they really understand. If you tell them that
That's
stop
the
doing
thing.
that,
I love that. Now I concur with what you're saying. I believe that kids understand, and when you talk to them about some things, they will understand, depending on how you relationships
Although
you've
there are
created.
some naughty children.
And why are you putting your head down, Philo? You're talking about
There are
probably you're one
some
of them.
Well, I was a child who was always beaten by my parents. Oh, you know, they would always report me to my
My
parents.
parents beating
My parents
me.
would be the ones to beat
That's
me.
the thing.
No, yeah, they
my
would always
parents
report
really
me. The
beat me as
neighbors
well.
would always go to my parents, and then my parents, they would not spare.
'Cause they know
And
how to
trust
do
me,
it,
I would
yeah.
never do that nonsense.
That's
Okay?
the
I
thing.
would get new nonsense to do anyway, so it was always a cycle.
New nonsense to get you beaten.
Yes.
No, but Philo, for me, I think personally, I wouldn't beat someone's child. And why? Children have health conditions.
True.
You never know. These toddlers
just a slap, a little slap on the back.
Yeah, maybe, but personally, I'm not a very beating. I'm not a beating type. I'm a very patient person with kids, honestly, because probably I was beaten a lot. I don't know, but I don't believe in a lot of beating, though.
Yes.
And I wouldn't beat someone's child. And I know that children, honestly, are children. There are things I used to do that today I think, and I'm like, how did I even? But the only thing that comes to mind is like, man, you are a child by then. Like every age comes with some. In fact, if some kids don't do those things, you'll be worried as a parent.
Because
honestly,
it will catch up with them.
No, there may be a problem.
Yes.
It could be psychological. You need to see a doctor. If your kid is not putting some things in disorder in the house, you should be worried.
Like if the kid sits in the car, like in one place like this, you just
I've had parents
because
who
they
say,
can't really sit in one place.
Yeah, maybe they are sick. You should honestly,
I've had
actually.
parents say, "No, mwana yetaberanga konga bana banne."
Kati oyo mwana abera sometimes it's psychological. You need to see a doctor. Nga gwolowooza mwana wo is very humble. Banaye, kumbe you're sitting on a sickness. So that's what I'm saying. Kids need to be kids, but of course they need to be controlled.
Yes.
You know, they need to be advised. They need to be time and again told the right thing, and you know, and they need to be loved, man.
True. Now,
Show
getting
kids
back
love,
to the topic of safety as we wind up, what are just some of the few tips I would really love to hear from you, Felix and Olivia? Like, what can you do as a parent in your power, in your capacity, to ensure that children, they can never be safe 100%, but what is that you can do to at least increase the percentage of their safety?
The small kids, the very young ones. Me, what I know, like you shouldn't wait for like, if you're not seeing that kid for 2 minutes or 1 minute, you have to make sure like they are causing trouble somewhere. So you have to make sure when you're with them, 1 minute is enough. If you're not seeing them, you go and look for them. Either they are climbing on the balcony, or they are spoiling something, they're doing something bad. So for the young ones, I think that's the only yes, that you can see.
They should be. They should be in your vicinity.
No better like, and I can tell sometimes you're there in it, but you're like, this kid was, the next year you're, where go? And it only took like about 30 seconds. So what she's saying is really, really
and they're very swift, very swift.
You know, they just pull anything. Have you had
1 minute they are here, the other minute in the swimming pool.
That's the thing.
Yes.
It just happens like in the split of the kid was here. The next thing here, saucepans, what the fridge things are falling. You're like,
what is happening?
This thing can even fit in the fridge if they want. No, but honestly, if you want my tips about safety, I think for me the first thing is creating time. We need to agree that parenting is a job as well. And I don't know how to quantify the payment, who will pay you for that, but I know that you need to have time for children. It's important. Some things you'll never notice. For example, mothers sometimes take time off to shower your child, man. Away from the maids or the house helps, shower your child. Maybe out of 7 days, maybe 2-3 days. Check her buttocks, check her private parts. As you shower them, check her neck, his or her neck.
The nails.
The nails, the mouth. Like, you'll be surprised the things you'll see. Like these kids who put on Pampers. Sometimes those things give them bands down, and you never know. Before you take, the kid is having rotten private, but you've seen these cases in hospitals. But all because of what? You're all on the phone tweeting, Snapchatting, TikToking, and trying to do challenges. But you're dying of beauty. And then your kid is dying of whatever it is. You get it? Secondly, kids need to feed, like what you say. You need to know if they have eaten. At least feed them 1 meal a day, you're sure of. When you come back home, you can't. You can't come back every time and the kid is sleeping. Like, make sure you feed them at least dinner. At least you know that, because I have a friend, actually a relative, who used to work in a school, a kindergarten. The stories she told me, and no offense to people who are working in kindergarten, but she told me, and this was so painful, how when parents pack foods for their kids. And because you know how kids eating habits, they really they want to snack one, bite an apple, then run and play, then
away,
come and take it. These kids, the teachers would fight with kids to eat. And if the parents came in the evening and found the container half full or quarter full or even full, they will abuse or insult these teachers. Now, the teachers used to eating these things. Not because they actually wanted. They couldn't throw them away in the dustbin, so they would have to eat these things to avoid being insulted.
Do that to avoid
exactly
being insulted.
To say.
So I may as well feed on that.
They make sure they empty the containers.
Because it's because they don't want this argument. So at least feed your child a meal a day.
Well, that's absolutely true. But also one thing I believe in, if you're going to incorporate house helps, I think it's just important for you as a parent to do some due diligence on some of the people you bring in your home. Okay, it's very important, even if they are recommended, saying, I think get deeper into it. Hey, you're saying the village is going to call you and tell you, what do you want?
Those ones never take, man. Never.
Do some
get someone
diligence.
You don't know real, then you tell them what you want. Those things that what is Kamanyo in English? They start bringing those things.
Familiarity.
Those kind of things. Honestly, you need to, like, by the way, background you talked about, people will say Gezi. Ask for their national IDs. What are you doing with a maid or house help or shama boy who has no identification?
True.
Don't be so desperate. Uganda, the government gave an opportunity for everyone to register. Why didn't they register?
True.
They registered people as early as 12 years in schools, even in communities. Why? Come with an LC letter. I must have the contacts if you have parents.
Yeah, if anything happens, I know who to call.
These kids have, most of our house helps have gotten pregnancies in our localities. before you know he's helping here, the next thing is a wife to a boda guy, to an askari somewhere. Now, you get the point. Now, how do you deal with that? And for some of us men, it is dangerous. Now the woman starts looking at you like, last time when I was abusing her.
Anyway, when you even get these house helps in your homes, take some time off and orient them into the system.
Talk to them
talk to them, show them what you would love them to do. Also do it in a humanly manner, because
be
there
nice
are some,
to them,
there are people who are a bit so, actually they're very inhumane.
Out of 10 families, 7 treat those people like trash, man.
Like trash. It's bad.
It's not
if
fair.
you there are people I also know that they will do anything for their house helps, because they know they do everything for their children. They try in as much as they can to ensure that these people are comfortable, because we know that a person who is kind of frustrated, a person who is mad, it's very easy for them to project those feelings on your children.
They will, definitely.
They will.
So, because if they can't talk back to you, they will talk back to you.
They will go to that child, and I don't want to get into that story. Really.
Yeah.
It will be a different scenario altogether.
But honestly, and previously we used to have companies that do this. I don't know what happened, because they would take the liability, they would train them. I don't know really what happened.
I'm told they've become overly commercialized. And there's some stories I've had from people who have coordinated with those companies that these people actually do connive with some of the house helps. Just go there, be for this while, get the money and leave. So this person is coming in here for the money. They're not even coming in to take.
It would have been a very good thing if we had companies we hire from these people, honestly.
Yes, authentic
when they have polished them a bit on mannerism and what, but it's unfair we pick people from Senga
recommending, yes.
There are those friends who are good at that. You want to make, go Philo. I don't know where the Philos get these people in the village. They have their specific villages.
There is families that have those specific individuals that are ready to work. And by the way, these are the house helps who come and they spend there like a week or 2 days. And like,
no, they never say that. That's the thing. Or
they run away and leave your children. You come back and find your children seated on the...
When you hear Mama Murwad, they just start looking for another mate.
Well, it is Good Morning Uganda Friday special. Now get onto our socials and let us know, okay, what can you do or what can we do collectively to ensure a safety of our children at home? What would you have to incorporate in your lifestyle? Do you have to make changes? Do you need help? How do you get that help? As long as it's going to keep your child safe at home. Get onto our socials on Twitter, #UBCGMU. Send us a WhatsApp message on 0709 602 592 and let us know about that. Well, right now, we're going to be looking into the big stories on our Daily Monitor, the New Vision and Daily Nation. But starting off with the Daily Monitor, we can defeat M23 in 24 hours, according to the Army. Now, the Deputy Chief of Defense Forces, that is Lieutenant General Peter Elwelu, has said that the rebels are causing mayhem in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo can be silenced in just a single day by the East African Community Regional Force launch a counter-offensive. Now, be sure to catch that story in the Daily Monitor. Now, in more stories, who has given what for Ebola fight? They're giving you a breakdown of the amounts of money that have been contributed by different groups of people. I can see Uganda government, looking at United States of America, British government. The cutout is still there. The statistics as at November 2nd, so you can catch the full story over there. 17 schools are burnt by arsonists. This is according to a report that has been put out there. And there is also an entertainment pullout for you, so catch up on that, on many more stories in the Daily Monitor. But also looking at the New Vision, Felix, what are we looking at?
We're looking at government issuing new rules for PDM loans, and Ebola First Lady issues guidelines for PLE candidates now making millions from farming, and NRA hero Ahmed Kashirinji dead. Now, inside the beat, they give you there are Ugandans who are more popular than Uganda, and era engineer loses bid to block his sacking. Of course, here now in this, they give you some of the icons, and I think this is the guy they call Moluya.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a photo of that guy who was in
Black Panther, and he's actually featured in a couple.
They
of
say
movies.
he's popular than the country.
I
don't know about that.
Is it a lie?
It is what it is. Now, of course, back of the papers, Philo, we're looking at utilize the big chance. That is in sports, and who Rocky Maroons dare to dream, and of course much more of the games that will be happening on the weekend. But of course, Philo, to remind our viewers, we're fast tracking towards the World Cup. 16 days to go. I can't wait to watch. Definitely, but maybe just about sports. Do you do any sports?
I like football.
You like football?
Yeah.
Okay. Football?
The football.
I like the Ugandan football or the Manchester Arsenal football.
Actually, I used to play football in school, like around P5, P6, and I was one of the stars at school. So they couldn't do anything when I'm not there. I used to go to St. Joseph's Girls in Zambia.
Wow.
Yeah. So I used to be their star.
Star?
Yes.
So which team do you support?
I support
maybe Premier League. Do you watch Premier League?
Here I support Vipers.
Why?
And
why?
I don't know. I just like it.
You like Assassino Boys now.
You'll be there with Assassino Boys. Of course, there's only one team. You know, Moto Express. The Red Eagles. You've heard of that team, I know. Wankurukuku, the Mayuni Boys. But we shall talk about it in Premier League.
There is a gentleman who will come and spill all that.
I support West Ham.
Why?
There used to be a player. No, there used to be a player, but I forgot the name.
Don't worry.
Anyway,
but Philo, what do you support in Premier League?
Well,
I think is it Liverpool or something?
I say no.
Somebody said I support Man. Do I look like a Man U fan?
It's written all over
Absolutely not. It can never be me. Now, crossing over to the Daily Nation, we are under pressure to frame Kinoti. Now, 9 officers of the disbanded Special Services Unit accused of killing 2 Indians and their taxi driver tell court their arrest is politically instigated. Find out more on that story. Now, extrajudicial killings, Raila wants probe expanded to other enforced disappearances. Morathe in trouble over Jirongo's cash, and we're talking about 25 million Kenyan shillings. Why sacked civil servants will now get full pensions. That and many more stories in the Daily Nation. So go ahead, grab yourself a copy of the New Vision and the Daily Monitor, the Daily Nation. I must tell you that they're quite interesting, so you'll be able to pick some of all these quite amazing stories. It's Good Morning Uganda Friday special. We're going in for a break. When we get back, still a lot to talk about and unpack for you.
This is Good Morning Uganda.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial *149*10# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *149*10*5#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *149*10# to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Hello?
Hello?
This is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Hey, Kasozi, my brother. Long time. We last met when we were at campus. It's been a while, but you are the person I'm looking for.
Campus? Really?
Hey, you don't remember me?
Okay, so how can I help you?
I'm stuck in Gulu making millions and I need to urgently send money to my sick mother. But I can't find any mobile money agent near me. I've sent the money to your phone, as you can see the message. It might take a few minutes to come through, but I urgently need you to send the money to my mother. Let me send you her number and you send it to her chap.
My friend, I'm afraid your mom is going to die.
What?
Because I don't know you, I never went to campus, and I'm also in Gulu. So can we meet at CPS, we talk about it?
Stay tuned for what Kasozi does next. Tofera, refrain from unnecessary engagements with strangers over the phone. This message is powered by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Every waking day is a reminder just how beautiful this, our land, truly is. The The kind of beauty that you can only find here. In the lush green all around us and the wondrous sights within. It's what you feel in the gentle caress of tropical wind from the mountaintops. And the glow in your heart from a warm neighborly invite. It's in the distinct aroma of our cooking to the taste of food that takes you on a journey. In the sound of homecoming and the sound of Mother Earth. In the magnificence we find on our travels and the exciting moments we experience. Ours is the kind of beauty that comes in all things big and small. All we have to do is awaken our senses and truly enjoy what's uniquely ours. Explore Uganda, the pearl of Africa.
This is Good Morning Uganda. This is Good Morning Uganda.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
When you talk about our motherland Uganda, the pearl of Africa, you cannot fail to smile because of the smile that fills the faces of the citizens. Our nice good weather and nature that sustains us all, that enables us all to continue each in their way, because we are all different even according to each individual's work. But what joins us to become one person is the sweetness from the flavored drink Alleluia Jingati drink and Alleluia Tamarind drink. The flavor that quenches your thirst while at the same time treating and healing your body because it is 100% natural. Enjoy the drink that has got the tamarind juice in it. Made by Alleluia Reflexology, Healthy Solutions and Nutritional Research Center Limited. Get yourself a bottle of Alleluia from all shops around.
Pick of the day on UBC.
If I'm looking at issues of taxation and all that, I will definitely run for the Kateshumbas. Okay? If I look at, if I'm looking at issues of investments and what, I would definitely run. I would definitely run for Dr. Emure Kugonza and Honorable Omara. Okay. If I'm looking at issues of the law, I will run for our very, very own people. I have the Oboso Bosses, I have the Katuntus, I have the Robin Arwakojos. So everyone is talented in one way or another.
Did you mention Katuntu?
Okay. Yes.
Is he yours?
Yes, he is.
Yours as in NRM?
He is.
Was brought to you by.
Simply make a small deposit of 99k and pay the balance mpola. You can pay in daily, weekly or even monthly installments while you enjoy your new phone. So what are you doing today? Visit any MTN shop near you and get the MTN cupboard. That's super easy.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Well, good morning, Uganda. Special Friday it is indeed. And of course, you do know that we unpack a lot for you. But also, as you head into the weekend, we want to make sure that you know how the weather is going to look like. If you have any outdoor activities planned, then it might also be a good choice to choose which day. If you haven't chosen, that can be quite good. But first, let's take a look at what today is looking like, especially for this morning. We'll be tapping in from our satellites, and it looks like it's quite mostly cloudy for most areas within the country. We did start off with a little bit of rains here in Kampala, just a few places. Looks like that system might redevelop later, but we're looking at mostly a rainy morning for areas of Hoima right now as we speak. More rains coming in towards Masindi as well, where it started off as a rainy morning. It still is raining. It looks like those rains are continuing southwards. Now that is the system we're talking about right there in orange, yellow and blue colors, bringing rains across Hoima, Masindi and much of the Lake Albert region right there. Now that system will be headed westwards. It looks like it will be cutting towards areas of Mubende, Fort Portal. You can also expect to have rains for this morning, and that will also be extending towards areas of Apache, where we're seeing a little bit of rain starting to develop over there. But most of that will be clearing for mostly a cloudy morning for much of that. Now also looking at western Uganda towards areas of central as well as the central Lake Victoria Basin, where we have Kampala right now, looking at most especially cloudy weather. We'll have intervals of sunny conditions as well. Mbarara starting off quite sunny, Masaka also quite sunny for you out there. And we're looking at also Mbale starting to develop a little bit of cloudy weather that will be resulting into rains later as the morning progresses. Also looking at a cloudy morning for the Karamoja region, areas of Kotido, Moroto. It looks like it's also another sunny morning again across Moria, Soroti, Padel, Gulu, Arua looking at mostly a sunny morning for today, but also we do expect to continue with those conditions for most areas within eastern Uganda as well as Karamoja region later as the day progresses. But right now we'll take a look at the forecast that is coming in from Uganda National Meteorological Authority and also see what we do expect in terms of temperatures for today. Now starting off with the central part of northern Uganda, that is where we have Jumani, Gulu, Kitgum and Padel. We're forecasting isolated showers. Those will be developing as the morning progresses, but quite a warm morning at 27 degrees. Now southwestern Uganda, where we have Mbara, Ibanda, Bushenyi and Rubirizi, we are forecasting sunny intervals. Temperatures are at 25, quite chilly for you there, but we might be having rains also later as the day progresses. Now across Masaka, Kalisizo, Zimbabwe and Rakai, that is the western part of Lake Victoria, we're looking at a rainy morning for you. It's still cloudy for now, but those will be coming in across several places, starting off chilly at 25 degrees. Now Mount Elgon Highlands, we are looking at a rainy morning as well. That will be coming in as the morning progresses. Now starting off with a chilly 25, that will be across areas of Mbale, Bududa, Buko, as well as Sirongo. Now we're looking at another sunny morning for parts of eastern Uganda. That will be with intervals of cloudy conditions for Soroti, Katakuya, Moria and Kumi. We're looking at a warm morning as well. That will be up to 27 degrees centigrade. The eastern parts of central, where we have Ruwero, Woblen, Ziburudi, Nakaseke, we're forecasting rains. We're already seeing the clouds developing over the area. The rains will be coming your way as the morning progresses, starting off with a pleasant 26 degrees, and that rainy system is expected to cross over into the afternoon. That is for much of eastern central. Now we look at the eastern part of Lake Victoria Basin, where we have Tororo, Bosia, Iganga and Jinja. We're also likely to have those rains come through for this morning. That system will be crossing over into the afternoon as well. But for this morning, we're starting off with quite a warm morning at 26 degrees. Now the central parts of Lake Victoria Basin, that is where we have Mukono, Kampala, Entebbe, Wakiso, also likely to have those rains redevelop again. That will be across several places. Starting off with a chilly morning at 25, we're also likely to have that system crossover into the afternoon. And then again, we'll be looking at more of those, especially for the southern sector of the country, where we do expect more rains to develop later in the afternoon. Also looking at Mount Elgon Highlands, where we do expect to have more pickup in wet weather activities that will be coming in. But then again, as we look at Saturday, what we do expect is to have more rains that will be across the western parts of the country. More rains are forecast though for the southwestern area towards the Rwenzori area as well. So Kasese, Fort Portal, Masindi, we're looking at more rains compared to the rest of the country. We'll also be having a little bit of light rains for the Mount Elgon Highlands, that is across Mbale. That will be extending towards Bududa, Jinja as well. And we're looking at reduced rainy conditions for the western parts of Lake Victoria. So areas around Masaka, Mbara, also for parts of Kampala, by Saturday we're going to have a reduction in wet weather activities. It looks like it's going to be at least quite convenient if you have anything planned in terms of outdoor activities. But Karamoja region and eastern Uganda will continue with mostly intervals of sunny and cloudy conditions for Saturday. Now as we head into Sunday, we still look at more like the same weather across western Uganda in terms of wet weather activities. We'll see more rains developing across southwestern Uganda. Kabale, do expect a lot more rains coming your way. Same goes for Fort Portal, same goes for areas of Bundibujo right there, Kisoro as well. Towards Masindi, we'll have more rains compared to the rest of the country. And also we'll see more rains picking up for the eastern part of Central, where we have Nakasongola right there, Nakaseke, Wero, Woblands. You can expect to have more rains for Sunday. Now that also goes for the Lake Victoria Basin, where we have also areas within the western lake, that is Masaka, Rengo, Zimbabwe. Do expect to have more rains for you on Sunday compared to Saturday. Now we'll see more reduction across northern Uganda, Gulu, Lira, across Padel, Kitgum, crossing over onto the Karamoja region, eastern Uganda as well. You're going to have mostly a sunny day. And also if you are anywhere in the country and headed towards such places, be aware that it's going to be warm. because temperatures are likely to be equally high for most of those areas that will have reduced wet weather activities. And we also look at a few pickup in wet weather activities for the Mount Elgon Highlands. But compared to Saturday, I see Sunday actually has more rain. So if you are to choose on a less rainy day, I say choose Saturday. But it looks like even today we'll be continuing with most of those rains as the rainy season still continues, by the way, until we reach December. That is when we do expect rains to go down. But for now, we're still having that rainy season that will be going on even for the month of November. Now we'll take a short break, but when we come back, more on the entertainment scene. Now, which movies can you expect? Are you a book fan, or what is happening in the world of entertainment? We'll be looking at that, but for now, let's take a short break.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda. Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 149 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 149 star 10 star 5 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 149 star 10 hash to get started. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Well, good morning, Uganda. Special Friday it is. Now, if you are ready to hit cinema, or also if you have your favorite sites of movies, you do know that some of them do actually come out on Friday, and that's when you will have a whole list of movies to catch up with. But one of my favorites coming out today across Netflix, and of course competing with the world's the most important person in the world in terms of IQ. You can imagine who that is, Sherlock Holmes. Now, in this movie, Enola Holmes, that is the second movie actually, we're looking at her, pairing with a brother with Sherlock Holmes in solving the most unusual cases, unusual crimes. And of course, if you watch the first movie of Enola, they were actually trying to find their missing mother, and then with a lot of detective scenes in there, trying to solve the mystery. And Enola couldn't actually work with her brother then. But in the second movie, does she work with the great Sherlock Holmes? And how is that looking like? But as she tries to find a name for herself and also explore how far she can go, she takes it to a journey into detective. Well, let's take a look into the trailer.
Dare I ask?
I'm looking for a girl. She worked at the match factory. Enola Holmes.
She's a detective. Looks like she'd blow over in the wind.
She discovered something that powerful people want to hide, and it's deadly. Sherlock, why are you here? Is it my case or your own?
Both. Seems our cases are connected.
The game has found its feet again.
Extortion, blackmail, corruption. I fear she's tangled with the wrong people.
Posh girls like you don't belong in this fight.
Posh or not, one thing I am good at is fighting.
She likes causing trouble, doesn't she?
Don't be so desperate to prove yourself, Enola.
But it's important. I know what that's like to feel alone, to be ignored. No one else cares for these girls. But I think I've made things worse.
Nonsense. Find your allies. Work with them, and you will become more of who you are.
Stop that!
You could be magnificent.
I need your help. Well, don't make me repeat it. May I come in?
Everyone here is playing a part.
marks the spot.
Testing each other. Well, that's just rude.
Shouldn't you be finishing school?
Well, featuring Millie Bobby Brown, she is best known for her role in Stranger Things, the character who played 11 in Stranger Things. She has also made appearances in movies like Modern Homes, that is the series Godzilla vs. Kong, and a lot of actually the Godzilla tales. That is Mickey Brown, but also alongside her brother Henry Cavill, who is known for his role in, mostly The Witcher, which is most recent, also streaming on Netflix, and also Man of Steel, but much known for Batman and Superman. Of course, he has played Superman in most of these DC movies. That is Henry Cavill right there. Quite an interesting movie, already rated at 93%. That is from Rotten Tomatoes. IMDb has given it 6.8 out of 10. Well, right, interesting right there. And of course, you can look out for the movie that is streaming today live on Netflix. Well, another movie that I would want to spot out for you now, if you're a series fan and you like sci-fi, imagine this. Imagine you take a flight and get lost there, and people at home think that you actually got lost. For 5 years, these people have been presumed dead, but they are alive. That is in The Manifest. Now, The Manifest officially today is bringing out the 4th season that we have been anticipating and, of course, looking out for what happens now. While they appear 5 years later, there seems to be a lot of mystery following them. And one of the mysteries they have to solve on their own is where were they in 5 years? And across this manifest, this aircraft, it seems like there is a voice of God that is telling them to solve crimes. But they now have a death date. How do they beat it? They have to work together as a team. And of course, that is what season 4 will be showcasing. And of course, this features some of the favorite actors and actresses in Hollywood. You're looking at big names like Michaela, who is also playing Michaela Stone in that series. She has made appearances in movies like I Still Believe. She has made appearances in The Supernaturals, in Bloodline, and of course you're looking at Josh Dallas as well, who is playing Stone, the brother to Michaela Stone, also an American actor who has made appearances in movies like Thor, and also one of the most viewed series, Once Upon a Time. That is right there for you. Let's take a look into the trailer for the 4th season of Manifest.
Another passenger was murdered. I think that this killing was even close to being done.
Have we had this wrong the whole time?
You didn't fly into the storm. It flew into us. It chose us.
A direct link to divine consciousness.
Whatever happens, we'll get through it together.
Oh, what a thrill. It's just one of those series that gets you into, contemplating whether you still really like flying. Well, that is Manifest for you. It is coming out today, and of course you can look out for it. Now, if you love action, if you love mystery, if you love adventure, this one is for you. Detective Nights. And it's dubbed Rogue. Well, Detective Night is also coming out, and of course already in cinema. You can go book your ticket right now. It is showing, it will be showing starting today across most of your favorite cinema places. And of course you can go for it now. This is a story of a mask-wearing robbers, critically wounded detective who is named James Knight, and of course with his partner during a shootout. Now, as Knight pursues the bandits from Los Angeles to New York, his dark past collides with his present case. Well, threatening to tear his world apart, he now has to take a decision on what to pursue. Now, this is a very interesting movie, of course, featuring some of the favorite actors like Bruce Willis. Now, Bruce Willis is known for most of the movies like The Die Hard. He has also made appearance in The 60th Sense and Breakable, movies like The Fifth Element, that is one to look out for as well. And of course, also featuring actors like Lincoln Munro. Now, Lincoln Munro has also made appearances in movies like Riverdale. He has been known for movies like Max 2 and of course Capital Punishment, where he also actually played detective, and of course with a lot of action in that movie. Now, those are the people we're looking for in this movie, and let's take a look into what the trailer has.
Is in the act.
You going?
New York.
Turn up the issue, I'm dying to give you the problem you practically begging for.
It is the opinion of the department that if James Knight wasn't hunting bank robbers, he'd be robbing banks.
Knight might be rough around the edges, but he's a good cop.
This crew is tight. They move like a team. You got a theory?
All roads lead back to a businessman that goes by winner.
I hope I'm not interrupting.
What can I do you for?
You know, a lot of ex-pros.
I like a couple of them for a messy job. Know anything about that? Not to the best of my recollection.
Think real hard.
FBI, CIA, ATF, all have open cases on Winner. And 2 city cops from LA walk in here and they think they're gonna handle this case?
That cop served in the Marines, seems to have some disciplinary hearing every year.
I was thinking, what if we try your way?
The Knight is the most dangerous piece.
Well, looks like he is actually rough on the edges and very hard to work with, but I think they get the work done. Now, I can't wait for this movie. There's a lot of action, but also the mystery, the adventure right there is what I'm attracted to. And well, you can look out for all those movies, but also if you love to get yourself a good book and, you know, sit home, sit wherever, and get reading now. There are some of the top reads in 2022 that you'd be looking out for. Now, this book is titled Forgive Yourself. Now, for some of the tiny mishaps or things that you have gone through or things you've done wrong and you know for sure that you did wrong, how do you forgive yourself? What is the journey like? But also, what if it also has to do with family? What if it has to do with the workplace? And a lot of that. Now, Forgive Yourself takes you through a story of a modern family trying to find their place, but also a singer trying to find their voice, and a lot of that in the movie. Now, this is rated among the top 10 books on Amazon Kindle right now. That is one to look out for, and of course, with a lot of ratings, Goodreads is giving it a 4/5%, and also it's also looking at more of the ratings like Button Poetry, giving it 4.7 out of 5. Now, this is a very interesting story. It also has a story of a person who is trying to find their voice at 10 years and also having to navigate New York as a capital city, but also how to find love, how to find yourself. That is all included in also what is termed as the tiny acts of self-destruction. How do you get from that? That is a book that you can look out for. I think this is a very interesting book, and I would want to read, because I think once in a while a lot of us have done wrong here and there, and you want to forgive yourself. Where do you start? I don't know. I want to pose this to Philomena. If you've done something wrong, do you ever feel like, should I forgive myself, or I'll get away with it since I did it?
Listen, there are times when the guilt really eats me up, but I surely always forgive myself. I have learned over time to always prioritize myself. And some of these mishappenings do happen, but you let it go, because the guilt will really distract you every now and then. So I think this is an art I've learned, and I would also urge everybody to learn. It takes time. Otherwise, if you don't, you have a lot of guilt piled up in there, and no one is going to help you, by the way, get rid of it. Absolutely no one. So
ultimately you have to forgive yourself. And,
you have to. And then I guess this is how you learn to forgive other people.
Some of us just have it hard forgiving ourselves, and you have books like that to guide you to the best way to do it. But also, Philomena, what is happening is, I think we're doing well in terms of film in Uganda, and we've seen a lot going internationally. Just recently, we were nominated for the Oscars, and I think we're yet to find out if at least a movie director from Uganda is going to be getting that Oscar. But also recently, just last year, we had one of the movie movie directors here, Lukman Ali, who also won an award in South Africa. Now, it looks like this is also one of the biggest achievements that we've had in film. Now, that was during the 43rd Durban International Film Festival, which announced its winners. And of course, Lukman Ali did take on as Uganda's celebrated filmmaker who made the nation proud when he, of course, beats the stiff competition of a lot of directors right there. And of course, filmmakers, but he got the accolade for the best African short film of the night, and of course for the movie 6 Rounds. That's the one that we actually did present there as Uganda, and we're hoping that this will get the win. Well, he did get the win. That is for 16 rounds, and obviously he did also yesterday take it to his Facebook and YouTube, saying, well, we are there. The award is finally home. These nominations actually and awards took place just in August, but finally he has the award. And of course, you know, that's a win. I feel like that's a win. We're doing great.
We're doing really wonderful. And I love that for us, and especially for the young people who are coming up in this industry, because again, if you're to observe, more people are taking up the entertainment industry. Every other day there are new names that are coming into the radar. So I feel like it's an encouragement. You can't compare the film industry right now as it was back in the day. We used to shun that industry. Matter of fact, I felt like these guys were wasting time. I'm sorry, I am apologizing for that, but we're doing great.
We have improved. We have improved. If we are actually seeing some of these, you know, our movies, Ugandan stories making it to that scene, it means that we have changed the narrative. It's no longer how, you know, the fake Ugandan movies where someone is shot and they're still, you know, how it always goes on social media. We've gotten international. And guess what? These are also winning these guys money to put more into film. Yeah. Because his award actually did come with 10,000 rand.
So it's not just the trophy, yeah?
It's the money, 10,000 rand. That's a lot of money, close to $9,000, I think, plus South African to US dollar thing. But he did get the money, and of course we do expect, a lot of that to come
a hand clap.
I am telling you, and it was a very, very interesting story that was telling a lot Uganda. I think we could relate to, even when you look at some of the scenes from that movie right there as it's being shown. I'm telling you, this was a story to really get the award. It was a stiff competition in KwaZulu-Natal. I can tell you that, you know, some of the best African directors were there. And we know Vore is lost to some of the Nigerian. They have gotten Nollywood to standard. But Uganda, we are coming in hot and strong. And, well...
Yuga hood, right?
I know, I know.
We need to put a hood somewhere there.
Yeah. Yuga hood, Wakali hood, we're getting there. Wow.
We'll get there and we'll do quite well. Well, that's it from the entertainment news. Clearly, Molena is giving you a buffet of options. You cannot say we didn't help.
And, of course, also if you're looking out to see who you can go out with the movie for, maybe we might not be able to tell you who, but maybe Philomena and I here are still
we are very available.
But again,
if you don't want to join us,
we
shall go and we'll give you those updates.
But again, if you're going out over the weekend and you feel like you really need to look out for your wares, of course, in terms of fashion, you want to look good, you have your man right there, Alvin Clever. Now, this guy is the one who gets me dressed up every Friday, and of course he has a lot when it comes to office wear, casual wear. You want to look smart, you want to look casual smart. This is the guy to go for. Alvin Clever, he is at Arua Park Plaza, shop number 637. And of course you can get him on his socials, and make sure you know, when you're going for that movie, you're going out there for a certain festival, you stand out. That is important.
Dress for the occasion. Good morning, Uganda Friday special is still going on. We still have more sports updates. Ruben the sportsman will be in the house to give you more details and probably what matches to be anticipating for as the weekend goes by. We also do have some more performances from Olivia, our special guest this Good Morning Uganda Friday special, and a little bit of conversation amongst ourselves before we let you officially get into the weekend. Good Morning Uganda returns right after this break.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial *149